When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. Today, I'm super excited to be introducing one of my newest business partner, Ingrid Conley from Durham, North Carolina. How you doing today, Ingrid?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I'm just excited to kind of share your story. I think it's going to really be helpful to other, real estate agents out there. Guys and girls who are listening, Ingrid's been an agent since 2018, top producer in her company. And when I had called her, she had said she wanted to double her business next year and double again. So that got my attention because if you guys know me, I love helping real estate agents, grow their businesses. And that just kind of started a conversation. And a few weeks later, here we are. But Ingrid, let's start just kind of telling you a little bit about your background, your real estate story, whatever you want to share, and kind of go from there.
Sure. Thanks again for having me on. So my background is actually corporate finance. I was in the corporate world for quite a long time. They decided they didn't need my role anymore. And the next day I went for my real estate license because it's something I've always wanted to do. And I absolutely love it. I've been a real estate agent now since 2018, as you mentioned. And I find it to be a really fun and rewarding job. I get to help a lot of people. There are times when it's hard and there's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot to learn as you go and lots of different personalities and people to work with, but it has been phenomenal. And as you said, I have very aggressive goals for myself. I want to increase my productivity year over year, doubling every year. That's where I am at this point. And I do have a family. I live here in Durham, North Carolina. I have triplet daughters. Two of them are actually diagnosed on the autism spectrum. So I do spend a lot of my time within the disability advocacy world. I get involved in a lot of different great organizations that help people with disabilities. And it's wonderful to be able to have a career where I'm able to do my career and help other people. And, it all goes together and it's wonderful. It makes me very happy.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think we connected a lot with when we first started talking. Love your heart, three beautiful daughters, and you do a lot of, work for the community and for kids with disability, et cetera. And anyone out there listening, I mean, just being a full-time mom is enough work, but for triplets, right? And then having a full-time career. But I'm really excited about what your future looks like. I mean, you were doing great before you got connected with us at EXP. But I think, with all the tools and systems and the things that you're going to have access to now over and above, you had before, I'm excited to help you reach those goals, personally and business for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. The scope of the tools that are available at EXP really actually surprised me. Not just the amount of tools, but actually the quality of the tools as I've sort of dove in and started to, sort of look under the engine, as they say. I'm really very, very pleased. The KV Core product is amazing. And I think that alone is going to do wonders for my business.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about your. I think it's a great story, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat because everyone's heard of EXP by now, and you have your, what we know. But I remember when I first reached out to you, because that's what I do. I reach out to agents, try to find good referral partners in different marketplaces, and et cetera. Because this business is all about relationships. And then if I think they could be a good fit, then I'll share my EXP story and see if they're intrigued and want to learn more. And if people I can tell aren't a good fit, I don't even mention EXP. I mean, we don't have we get to pick who we want to be in business with. And with your work ethic and your goals and personality, I thought you could be a really good fit. So I think the conversation started when you asked me, what company I work for, and I told you. Do you remember what you kind of said when I told you I was at EXP?
I do. I said that I don't even know if I would go to EXP if it was the last brokerage on the planet.
And that was how many weeks ago? I mean, you've done a lot of due
6,
diligence.
8
Six,
weeks ago?
8 weeks,
Maybe,
6 or 8.
yeah, about 8 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I also love is, even though you said that and meant it, and we'll ask you in a few minutes kind of why you had that perception, and what you did to kind of turn the table on that. Because I know you're very analytical. You asked me tons of great questions. You even did a big spreadsheet of saying, because we all go to work to make income for our families, right? And the math has to make sense. So you did this great spreadsheet of how much income you're making now, what your goals were, and had it all laid out where you currently were and what it could look like at EXP. And we had a couple of runs through that, but kind of share that background a little bit, if you would.
Sure. So, my my knowledge of EXP was from when I had started in real estate in 2018, and I interviewed a bunch of different companies.
Okay.
And EXP, my view of EXP was they were more interested in bringing on agents than they were of doing the business, right? And that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a real estate agent. I wanted to sell properties and help people with their real estate needs. So that was kind of cemented in my mind. Um, so fast forward to when we had our conversation. Um, when you started to tell me more about EXP and the focus on business and the focus on agent development and different programs that are available, that's when I said, well, you know what? It's always worth having a conversation, and it's always worth doing a little research, right? So I did. I started off from terms of money, because that's, to me, it's very black and white to do my financial analysis. So yes, I built out my spreadsheet, and I changed my spreadsheet, and I looked at my spreadsheet, and you know, um, and it's not just about, honestly, like the number of deals. It's also about how much money am I also spending on tools and services outside of EXP, right? So what were the tools that EXP had that were going to be included, that I wasn't going to have to pay for on the outside? So that's sort of when I looked at it from that perspective of financial, like financially, how this is going to hit my bottom line, right? But then, more importantly, or equally as important, as I should say, is how was my business going to increase by being at EXP versus where I was? And I loved where I was, but I was kind of the big fish in the small pond. And so while I spent a lot of time helping other people, there weren't a lot of people helping me. And from what I can gather through the research I've done for EXP, there are many more programs, more avenues for potential exposure, both from a referral perspective to all of the, icon agents and other agents who have trainings that are available out there. Um, so it was really about looking into all of these different things. And here I am, right? Because
Right.
when I did all that due diligence, there were so many things that just pointed me in the direction of EXP as my next step in my real estate career.
Yeah, and then thanks again for doing your due diligence. I mean, from having the mindset, where you were, because we don't know what we don't know, and we only know you know, our personal interactions with other EXP agents or what we've heard from our broker or whatever. But kudos to you for taking a look and starting and doing your due diligence, because we both know that at the end of your real estate career, however many more years that's going to be, now you're an owner. You're building something not just for yourself, but for your three beautiful daughters, right? And that's a big deal. So again, congratulations for doing your due diligence, and I'm just super excited to have you as part of one of our partners, in Durham.
Oh, thank you. I'm really excited about it too.
So share with the listeners, because we didn't know each other before we first got connected, right?
Mhm.
And people can promise things and tell you what it's going to be like or what we're going to do to help or whatever. Honestly, share your experience, good, bad, and ugly, because hey, we're being real, of how your experience was so far. I mean, it's only been about a month into since you transferred your license, but how has things been so far?
Yeah. So, the onboarding process was important to me to see how that went. And I can say that, there has been a huge amount of support through onboarding. There's a lot. There's a lot of tools. There's a lot of processes. EXP is a worldwide company, but there's also, the North Carolina team that I'm part of. So, there's tons of information coming in from lots of places. And then I think, you know, mo- when you are joining fresh, you have one perspective. When you're moving from another company, there are a lot of other things that can impact your onboarding. So nothing has been terrible. It's just been, a little hiccup here or there, but there's definitely been hands-on to help. And it's really been very, very nice to know I've got people to call. Um, the phone is answered, the email, the text, whatever. Um, the BIC in North Carolina has been super responsive, which was another sort of one of those things that I had heard, that EXP BICs were not supportive, that they had too many people, and they didn't respond to their agents. And again, it's early days, but that has not at all been my experience. My experience has been, if you ask a question, if you need help, you're going to get somebody on it right away. And I love that. I will try to look up stuff myself and try to figure out stuff myself. But if I do need help, I want someone who's actually going to help me. I want to be treated like I treat my clients. If they need help, let me know what I need to do. So that has been really, really positive.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And we didn't prep that before because this is live, but I know my wife Beth is we help. I mean, EXP has an onboarding process, but we have our internal onboarding process where Beth walks you through everything, because we know it's like drinking from a fire hose, right? There's a lot of information, but where do you see your business going in the next 2 to 5 years? What are you most excited about, now, knowing the tools and systems and support that you have with EXP and in our group? What are you excited about?
Well, I'm excited about all of it. I'm really excited to be engaged in some of the new programs. that I'll be able to work on, and I'm not going to know the names of any of them, so I
That's okay.
apologize for that. But there are programs around off-market properties and express offers and just VA stuff, and I don't even know all of them off the top of my head, but I'm very interested in getting engaged in those programs and with those tools. I think the functionality, as I said earlier, with KV Core, I think that's going to be able to bring my client communication and outreach and follow up to a completely new level from what I've done before. So I'm excited about that. You know, it's I think being able to have so many people within the organization, I mean, using the workspace and being able to reach out to people and see what people are posting and what people need and what people's experiences are. It's all fabulous, and I'm really looking forward to um, just building my business based on all of those tools. And I mean, I'd love to meet with you again next year and tell you how amazing my business has grown using all of the resources from EXP. And, I believe that any experience you have, you're going to get from it what you put into it. And I'm ready to put in the work and the focus and do all the training because I really do believe that at the end of the day, it's really going to help me succeed.
Yeah, Ingrid, people like yourself, you're hardworking, you're ethical, you just do what's right, and you get stuff done. You'll be successful no matter where you are. But you can be, you can get to work with a Ford, or you can go with a Ferrari, right? I mean,
Right.
it's a whole, you still get from A to B, but you can get there a lot faster, a lot more comfortable, having a lot more fun, and that's what I'm excited about, because you're going to be successful no matter where you're at, especially that mindset. Hey, I want to double this year and double again. Now you're going to have, tools, systems, and business partners that all are going to, you haven't even met them all yet. But you will, as we continue, going to live events and getting on the Zooms and the training that we have. That their mindset is if they help you win, we win. And most agents don't have that at the average company. Your friends and people will help, but I know we were texting back and forth, I think on Saturdays and on Sundays, and we treat our business partners are like family. And if my kid texts me, I'm going to text them back. Even I might be doing something fun, but I'm still going to respond. And we do the same thing with our partners, because you really become part of our family. So I'm excited to meet your girl someday, and your family, and as we help you continue to grow your business, I'm stoked for sure.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm super excited.
Um, I'd like to ask people, what was your biggest surprise being a cloud-based company that you really didn't expect? One, you mentioned already, how the BICs, the brokers in charge, are really responsive. You didn't know, you had the assumption or heard that wasn't true. So that was a surprise. Do you have another one that was a pleasant surprise, from the outside looking in, and now you're on the inside?
Well, I mean, I think all of the online resources are fantastic. I mean, there's nothing that you could say I wish that we had that isn't already in place. But I think the biggest surprise to me, honestly, was the EXP membership for Regis, which is the actual physical locations. Um, because I'm still old school. I still like to meet with people in person. And you know, having the ability to have the free membership to use the business lounges and the Regis locations was really eye-opening to me because, there's in the Raleigh-Durham area, there's probably 8 or 10 different
Wow.
locations that I can go and use, which is definitely a step up from meeting in, Panera or wherever that we decide that we're going to meet our clients or, other agents or whatever. So that was a really nice bonus that I had no idea about, and really um, it helps to be able, right now with the low inventories we have in the Raleigh-Durham area. I'm definitely traveling a lot, and, having 8 different locations to go into to park myself and use Wi-Fi, and meet with people is huge.
Yeah, that is a big plus. That is a big plus. And they're normally pretty nice. They're pretty nice, establishments that you're able to use, and it doesn't cost anything. It's free, so that's pretty. That's a bonus. I've only used them a few times, but they came in handy for sure.
Mhm.
Um, I like to normally get a little bit deeper into what are, if you don't mind sharing, what are some of your goals, and um, where do you see yourself in the next couple of years, not only with the EXP platform and tools. And I know you haven't had time yet to really get into the all the coaching and training that our group provides with the National Association of Expert Advisors. You probably haven't even had time to look into that much yet. But I know we shared it a little bit with you. Um, what are you excited about there as far as those kind of tools, coaching, and systems you'll be able to use to bring your business to the next level?
Well, again, I think I think having access to all these different programs and people, it is huge, right? So, even if I were able to do, 2 hours a week of additional coaching, um, just whatever it is, if it's live, if it's recorded or whatever. I mean, I have I don't think I've ever taken any kind of a class where I haven't learned at least one thing, right? And so, some of those things are what not to do. Some of those things are really good, um, tweaks to make to your business or to a presentation or whatever to get better outcomes. And some of them are mind blowing, right? Some of them are, you know, ways to revamp your time blocking or your business approach or your follow up that really changes your business dramatically. And so, having all of these additional coaching and resources available, whether it's, free or discounted or whatever it is, again, it's the bonuses of being part of the team and being able to say, Andre, this is what I'm struggling with. This is my challenge. Who do you think I should go to get this kind of, how do I address this? How do I meet these challenges, right? Being able to do that, I think is really powerful. And again, I am not spending hundreds or thousands of dollars outside of EXP trying to find other coaches or other systems that may or may not help. So yes, I'm very, very excited about having sort of that leadership, that mentorship, that coaching, um, that's available. I think it'll be really, really powerful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm excited too for you to dig in more, and you'll learn more and more every day as you go through, because there is so many value and benefits. I don't even know them all. The company continues adding things to make it easier and make our jobs easier and to do a better job for our clients, et cetera. Um, what were your thoughts on our cloud-based company before really experiencing it? And if my memory serves me right, I think when we were on the Zoom, didn't I introduce you to the cloud-based? Um, they call it Frame now. Is our our uh, our cloud-based office basically. And did I introduce you to one of the brokers in there, or did I just give you a pass and you went in yourself? I honestly don't remember.
We did both. Actually, you gave me a pass, and I was on there with you to get a sense of what it was about. I mean, again, I'm old school, so a lot of the, online video type stuff is kind of lost on me. It's not the thing that made me go with EXP. I mean, I can understand how people love it. I am more about connecting with people one-on-one. I'd rather do a Zoom call. I'd rather meet somebody in person. Um, but it is impressive what has been developed, because you do kind of, jump into the world, and you've got your avatar, and you can go to different places and sit in meetings, and I mean it is pretty neat. Um it's just not me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Ingrid. I only go into the world once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks when I actually need something. If I need to talk to a broker, that's real important, and I want to have a conversation. And I don't need to tell. It doesn't matter which broker. If it was a specific broker, I could pick up the phone, call them, or text them, or whatever. But it could be any broker. I just go in and go and ask the question. I had our closing on our house just this past week, and I went in and I want to make sure I had everything all set, and talked to the transaction coordinator. And I was in and out in 60 seconds, well, maybe a couple of minutes. By the time I got in, talked to him, and got out, and I was ready to rock and roll. So I don't use it that often either, but it's just another great tool, another communication avenue to go to get what you need, right?
Absolutely.
Just a couple other questions. I'd love to kind of get your your point of view now. Being in the EXP just for a short time, what would you say to a real estate agent if you were talking to yourself? What would you say to an agent that's happy where they are, very, very content, not looking to make a move? You were not looking to make a move when we reached out, for sure. If you were talking to someone just like you, what would you say now about checking out EXP?
Well, I think that it's important to have the conversation. And I think just with anything, you have to understand where you are in your career and what your goals are. And I think you need to articulate what those goals are, and then think about, if you're going to make a move, what would that mean, and what do you need to get to those goals, right? So if your goal, um so interesting, like for North Carolina, right? You have one firm, EXP. You can be in multiple MLSs, because you're with one firm. If I am spending a lot of time, I did a lot of business in Wilmington. I had a townhouse out there for a while, and I would have to hang my license with two different offices, which are two different sets of rules, two different sets of everything before EXP. Now at EXP, I could be in multiple MLSs with, one office, one profile, one everything, right? I'm not duplicating my efforts. So, if that's something that's important to you, then you should have a conversation, right? If you are paying $1,500 a month for a CRM, and that gets really expensive. Do your homework and see, like, is the CRM in EXP worth you paying maybe a little bit more for your annual cap, because you're getting such fabulous tools? Like, I just think that a lot of times we're so busy doing our business that we don't really sit back and say, here's my short-term goals, here's my long-term goals. What do I need in order to meet those? And so even if you're happy, I think you still have that conversation with yourself, and then have it with someone else.
Yeah, you really owe it to yourself and your family. I mean, when you think about it, as real estate agents, we pretty much do the same thing. I mean, we prospect, we communicate, we network, and we find buyers and sellers, and we help them through that process, right? So you're not doing anything different, but with the EXP model, the ownership and all the other perks and privileges. Once you do the math, you normally find out that the math is way better on on your side. Now and I don't know if you want to share. You don't have to share any exact numbers or anything, but when you did your spreadsheets and we kind of filled in, because we had assumed some things, right? And we had to look at it and figure, well, actually it's this and this, and we kind of changed things so it was accurate. We don't want to assume anything, right? You want to, especially when you're looking at the math, is be very accurate. When you did all your math analysis and we kind of tweak things, how did that come out for you?
So, based on my business level right now, the math works out to be almost even. When I think about getting to the icon status, which is my goal, then the math definitely flips in favor of EXP. And when I look at removing all of my additional fees for the different things that I use before EXP, the math is in favor of EXP. So, from that perspective, while where I was very good from a commission standpoint, going now to EXP based on business volume, it just makes more sense for me to be at EXP, right? And so again, it goes to how much business I'm doing, what kind of business I'm doing, and where I plan to be. That when I did the math for me, for my business, for my goals, it absolutely made sense for me to be with EXP for sure.
Yeah, and I thank for kind of sharing that, because it is important to do the math. And you were at a low. Was it 100% company?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I thought I make sure my memory serves me right. That was 100% company. So your fees and everything is very, very low. So it made a big difference when you look at the whole picture. And you're absolutely going to be icon. If I got anything to say about it, with your work ethic and what your goals are, if you get plugged into even half of the stuff, and you're just learning as we're getting indoctrinated into all the different systems. Once you start pulling the trigger on the different things that you're going to have access to, I believe you'll be icon this year and every year thereafter. And what will that mean to you, 10 years from now? Knowing if you hit icon each year for the next 10 years, what would that mean to you and your family?
Well, I mean, when you reach icon, that's when you're getting that $16,000 a year back in stock that vests over 3 years, which 10 years of that, hopefully the stock doesn't go down, right? It increases. That's a nice little chunk of change that's there for retirement or family fun or whatever it is we decide to do with it. But it's money that, it's kind of like frosting on a cake, right? Because I'm not going to get that anywhere else. I wasn't getting any sort of, end residual from where I was. So, every dollar that's in that account is, it's great. It's really great.
Yeah, it's just a bonus, right? It's a bonus. I mean, stocks go up, stocks go down. I remember when I started 5 years ago, it was $8.15. I haven't checked, lately. But and we had a 2-for-1 stock split a year and a half ago. So that's just kind of tripled. And as we continue to grow, I mean, we're at 90,000 agents now. I'm part of some groups within the company that their next goal is to be at 1 million agents. We're in 25 or 6 states or countries now. The goal is to be at 100. I believe that when we're ready to get off this transactional treadmill of real estate at some point, or at least turn the dial from 10 down to 5 or 6 maybe, so we spend more time with our maybe grandkids at that point. I believe it's gonna be life changing for us and our family. And it's just like you said, it's icing on the cake. It's extra gravy that we didn't have before. Before we just had, hey, when you stop selling real estate, the money stops. And with our model, it can continue. So I know I'm excited about it, and I'm sure you are as well.
I am. It definitely makes an impact. And when, again, when you have the conversation and you start doing your due diligence and you learn about this and that and the other thing, it all adds up, and it's a pretty powerful proposal to, why should I move?
Right. And I know health insurance is a big deal for a lot of people. That just that could be a big deal for someone. So yeah, I definitely tell people to just do their due diligence, like Ingrid. I told you, stay where you are forever, but just be curious and do your homework. And you did that. And after you start really digging in, it really opens up your eyes. Wow, I had no idea. Now you're getting a better idea why we went from 15,000 to 90,000 in the last 5 years, because the agents that do their due diligence, start finding that out. Now, I know, like most agents, 88% of them at EXP, they just want to build their business. They want to double their business. They want to sell more homes, and don't want to attract agents or getting the recruiting game at all. They just want to grow their business. But when you find something that's this good, it's kind of hard to keep it to yourself. And I know you've already, attracted your first business partner, and he's already gotten started. So what I don't want not to speak for him, but can you share anything about how what your first recruit is, that even though you're not a recruiter?
So yeah, I was excited to introduce EXP to a family member, actually, who just got his license. And I told him to go interview different companies. I was able to talk to him about both the firm I was at previously as well as EXP, because I was halfway through all of my due diligence. So, I told him what I had found out. And of course, we, asked a lot more questions. And, for him, again, I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but, I think that he appreciated that I had, 5 years experience in the industry. He appreciated that I had done my due diligence and was going to make the move because of a lot of the reasons we talked about. For him, I think he also wanted to work with me and learn from me. So I think there was definitely a portion of it that he was like, well, if you're going, I'm going to start there with you. He's a brand new agent. And I think one of the really nice things is we have the ability to work together face to face, but, I don't have to rely 1000% on myself to help him. I mean, there's tons of other resources that he's already, getting from EXP, where I'm a mentor and he's a mentee as part of the formalized process within EXP for that, which I think is really great, because I think a lot of companies talk about a mentee mentor program, but they don't really have anything that's formalized. So I think having that is amazing. So again, I'm not somebody who, I don't believe that I'm going to be a person who's out there recruiting for EXP. But I am more than happy to have conversations with anybody who has questions and who has, gone down the path or is thinking about going down the path. Like I'm happy to have conversations because honestly, from where I started with, I really want nothing to do with EXP to being at EXP now and being super happy. You know, it's worth the time to invest, to do your due diligence, to see if it is the right, the right fit. So yes, I mean, anybody who wants to know more details or, what were the very specific points for me to move, I'm always happy to have those conversations.
Yeah, and if you're in Durham, North Carolina, or anywhere and close, I'm sure Ingrid would be happy to meet with you face to face for a cup of coffee and just kind of share her experience. But you don't have to be in North Carolina. I'm in Florida. When I got into EXP, I was in Georgia. We're in all 50 states, and in, like I said, 25 or 6 other countries. But if you're analytical, you're someone that you think Ingrid could be a good fit for you. Yeah, definitely reach out to her. Her phone number is right there, and she'll definitely be able to have just a truthful, honest conversation with you. I mean, I've told people after meeting with them, it probably isn't going to be a good fit. You should stay where you are. We don't need everyone. We just want the ones that it's going to be a good fit for. And we know we can help them meet whatever their goals, because if they win, we win. And this business is all about relationships. And I know it kind of sounds like a cliche, but if you talk to any real estate agent or anyone that's listening right now, ask yourself where you currently are in your business. If it's a year, or you've been here 30, and you've probably, if you've been in the business any length of time, you might be at 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 companies, whatever it might be. Has those companies changed your life? You made income, you had some great friends, but has it changed your personal and financial life? And Ingrid's only been here for a short time, so she may not be able to say that yet. But ask that question to yourself, because when you do talk to most EXP agents that have been here for a year or 2 or more, that's kind of like a common theme that people, when someone asks me, hey, how do you like EXP? It's hard for me not to say, well, it's kind of been life-changing. So I'm excited, Ingrid, for your future, and when you are going to be able to say that, because I'm pretty confident it's going to be the same for you.
I hope so.
Well, I really appreciate everyone jumping on our Financial Freedom Forever podcast today. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to myself or Ingrid. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person at one of the live events coming up. I know we have rallies all over the country. You're probably going to be going to the one there in the Carolinas. I'm going to be going to the one in Florida, but we have the big EXP conferences. We'll be in Canada in May. I'll be going to that one in Toronto, and then Miami is going to be October. I'm sure I'm going to see you at one of these live events, so we can go have lunch or dinner together and meet face to face. But how cool is it that we can be in hundreds and hundreds of miles away, but within minutes with phone call, with technology today, we can be real business partners and help each other thrive. I'm just really excited for you, Ingrid, and appreciate everyone joining us in the Financial Freedom Forever podcast today. And we'll see everyone next week. All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, Ingrid. Have a good day. God bless.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Listen to what our business partners are saying about our FFF group.
I love FFF. Financial Freedom Forever is helping you to grow, all support and coaching and training me and my family. Now we have more time to spend together and make more money.
Competition is good, but collaboration is better. The one thing that I really love about this group and this community is that an abundance mindset always looking to add value. It's really clear that this organization is pouring in as we have the best agents, not only in the US, but all over the globe.
I believe if you surround yourself with like-minded people that are doing 10, 15, 20 times more than me and you put together, we all bring each other up and bring our businesses to the next level and our lives. To learn more about how to partner with us, go to partnerwithandre.com or click the link below. And let's have a conversation.